before we can even graph them, you do need to understand, I guess, as far as the picture goes, okay? So if we have a sign like this or like this, so with no line underneath of it, it's gonna be an open dot, okay? The same way before we had like a dotted line with those, right? And then these ones were a solid line, so these are gonna be a closed dot. Okay? I would say the hardest part about these is that some of you guys, Cameron, that some of you guys don't know how to read the alligator mouth. Okay? So that is by far the hardest part. Now, one thing I want to say, if we look here on this, look at number 2. It goes from 3 to what? 3 all the way to what? 13. All the way to 13. Okay, so if you get an answer that is not 3 to 13, then is yours right? No. No. Okay, so this does kind of narrow it down a little bit for you. Is it Chase's? Okay. I don't know. So if it's not on your graph, then it's not right. And then some of these do skip too. So if this is 18 and this is 20, what does this one have to be? 19. So 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, so make sure that you're looking at those 2 things when we're doing these today. Okay, so I'm going to write this equation below here, just so we have some room. Okay, so we're solving for what letter? N. N. Okay, what is on the N side that needs to be moved? Negative 16. How do I move a minus? Add. So we're going to say plus 16, plus 16. So we got N. We're going to drop our sign down. What is negative 36 plus 16? Negative 20. Is that on our graph? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's good. Okay. Is this going to be an open dot or a closed dot? Open. It's going to be an open. Now, here's where we have to some of you guys think that because the arrow is pointed this way, then your line will go that way, and that is not always true, okay? Teachers have set those problems up to be like that, and it only works if one thing is there, and I will tell you eventually, but today we're not going to talk about that, okay? So if we look at this, this is how you read it. You read it from the letter to the mouth. So if we look at the letter, is it facing the bigger part of the opening of the mouth or the smaller part? The bigger. So N is bigger. So which way is going to be bigger? Negative 26 or negative 18? Which way is bigger? 18. The 18. Okay, because we're in the negatives, you got to go the other way. Okay, what's up?
I have a question. If it's an open dot, can we write it like that?
Yep. Okay, and today is not a day that I would go ahead. Okay, because the rules do change based on the problem. Okay, number 3 is going to be, I'm going to write it down here. So I got N minus 6. So what needs moved? The negative 6. How do I move a minus 6? Add 6, add 6. So that's going to give me a 10. Okay, on our 10, is it going to be an open or closed dot? It's going to be a closed dot. Okay, and now we say N is what? Which part of the mouth is it going to touch first? The small part. Okay, so which is smaller? Going this way or going this way?
Left.
To the left. Okay, I'm not too particular, but I do need to be able to see your dot, so make sure that it's clearly big enough to see whether it's open or closed. Oscar asked, could he do his dot like above the 20, and that's totally fine too, okay? Look at number 5. What needs moved? The negative 10. And if you don't want to rewrite your equation, okay, for these smaller ones, you can leave it up there and just draw super tiny, okay? So we're going to get a positive 2. Okay, on the 2, is it going to be an open or closed dot?
Closed.
It's going to be a closed dot. And this says x is, are we touching the bigger or smaller part first? Bigger, so which way am I gonna go?
Right.
To the right. Okay, now here's where the rules change. Okay? So, I'm gonna write this one down here. So if you're working ahead, stop. If you're using a pen today, I wouldn't. Okay, so again, we're solving for what?
X.
X. So what needs moved?
-17.
The negative 17. How do I move that?
Divide by 17.
Why is it divide?
Because it's 17 extra combined.
Yeah, so see how they're like right next to each other? Remember that means multiplication, so we need to divide. Okay, so we're gonna divide by negative 17. Okay. When you listen, this is so important. When you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip your sign. Okay? When you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip your sign. So notice how the sign is going this way. Now it needs to be going this way. Okay? It's still going to have a line underneath of it, but now it's facing the other way. You didn't flip it. Okay, and what is negative 153 divided by negative 17? 9.
Negative 9.
It's positive 9. Okay, on the 9, is that going to be open or closed? It's going to be closed. And then this says x is what? Are we touching the bigger or smaller part? Bigger. Now, if we forgot to flip it, which way would my line be going?
Left.
To the left, okay? So that's why it is important to flip it, okay? Because then your picture is going to be wrong. Okay, but it's only when you multiply or divide by a negative. Okay, number 9. What needs moved? The 4. How do I move that?
Divide.
It is divided right now.
Multiply.
So we're going to say times. So we got m. Okay, now again, did we multiply or divide by a negative?
Multiply.
It's a yes or no.
No.
Okay, so even though the 12 is negative, we're looking at what did we do? We did the 4. Is the 4 positive or negative?
Positive.
It's positive, so we do not have to flip. And that's going to be something. 48?
Yeah.
Negative 48. Okay, on the 48, is that going to be open or closed?
Oh, closed.
Closed. And this says m is what?
Bigger.
Bigger. So which way am I going to go?
Right.
To the right. Oscar, you're probably going to have to translate for me today.
Oh, shit.
Shoot, you mean? Okay, 11. What needs done? We're going to divide both sides by negative 16. I'm going to draw mine down here because my marker doesn't go that small. Okay, do we need to flip or no?
Here.
Why do you think so?
This is a
This is
negative.
negative.
What is?
This is
The 16 is negative. Okay, so we do need to flip it. Now our sign's going to be going this way. Okay, and I don't know what that is. Maybe 3?
Yeah.
Is it 3? Negative 3?
I keep getting caught. Like before you said it.
Because you didn't type in negative 16. Okay, should that be open or closed?
Closed.
It's going to be closed. And it says K is bigger. So which way am I going to go? I need all the bigger numbers.
Right. No, right.
To the right. Okay, 13. What are we going to do first?
The parentheses.
Okay, but how?
Distribute.
We're going to distribute, but what does that mean?
multiply negative 10 by x.
Yep, okay, so we're going to put a 1 right here, though. So negative 10 times 1 is going to be negative 10x. Negative 10 times negative 6,
Negative 60.
positive 60. Okay, so that's what we got so far. What needs done? Who's the third wheel?
The 60.
The 60. Okay, so we're gonna say minus 60 first. So I got negative 10x, and that's gonna be negative 130. Then what needs done? Divide by negative 10. Do we need to flip? Yes or no?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's negative divided by negative
The
ten.
10 is negative, okay? So we're gonna flip and you should get 13. Is 13 on our picture?
Yes.
Yes, so then that does not mean it's necessarily right, okay, but it's probably right, okay? Should that be an open or closed?
Open.
Open. And it says x is what?
Bigger.
Bigger, so which way am I gonna go?
Right.
To the right. Okay, 15. What needs done first?
Multiply by 9.
Multiply by 9. Why the 9 first?
Because it's a third one.
It is the third wheel. Okay, so we're going to say times 9 times 9. So I got p plus 6, negative 9. Okay, and then what needs done?
Subtract 6.
Minus 6, minus 6. Do we need to flip?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because
No.
you're subtracting.
We're subtracting. Remember, we only do it when in multiplication or division. Okay, so the subtraction, it doesn't matter. What is that, negative 15? Okay, so on the 15, is that going to be open or closed?
Close.
It's going to be closed. And where is that?
Between 14 and 16.
14 and 16. Okay, P is what? Bigger, so which way am I going to be going?
Right.
To the right. Yep, only multiply and divide a negative. Okay, 17. Who's the third wheel?
Negative 2.
The negative 2. So that one needs to move first. So we're going to say plus 2, plus 2. So I got a over 2. And I'm going to get a negative 3. Then what needs to
Multiply by 2.
multiply by 2? Good. Do we need to flip?
Yes. No. Yeah.
No, because it's a positive.
The 2 is positive. So although the 3 is negative, and it's going to be negative 6 for an answer, okay, the 2 is positive. So it's whatever we do, okay? Not what we end up with, not what we started with, whatever we do, okay? So on the 6, is that going to be open or closed?
Close.
It's going to be closed. And then it says A is what?
Bigger.
Bigger, so which way is it going to go?
To the right.
To the right. Oh, I mean, he can do all the equation stuff. It's the, obviously, open or closed. And then the flipping. It's just too much for me to type. Okay, 19, we're going to add 4. Add 4. So I got r over 4. It's going to be negative 1. Then what?
Multiply by 4.
Multiply by 4. And I apologize. I did not leave you guys very much room to write today, so that's my bad. Okay, open or closed?
Close.
It's gonna be closed. And then which way is my line gonna be going?
To the left. To the left. To the left. To the left.
R is less than, is gonna be going to the left. Okay, 21, who's the third wheel?
The first one.
The 5, so we're gonna say minus 5 first. Minus 5. Then what?
Multiplied by 3.
Multiply by 3. Multiply by 3. Okay, on the 9, is that going to be open or close? Open. And going which way?
Left.
B is bigger. Okay, now I'm going to show you the cheater way. Okay, flip your page over, look at the front page. So this is the way some of your teachers have taught you, but they haven't taught you like why it works. Okay, so if we look at this here, right, my arrowhead, if you look at that like an arrowhead, is pointing this way, right? Okay, same thing here. This one is pointing that way, right? If you were to extend the line, right, it's going, this one is going that way. This one is going this way. Which way is my arrow going? Same way, okay? Now, so that is a cheater way if you're like, don't know how to read or you get confused on which way to go, okay? That only works if your letter is on the left side, okay? And so if we, and I'm going to erase this one, if we pretended, so this said like this, was it 2 or negative 2?
It was 2.
Okay, that only works if my letter is on the left. If I would just switch these around and I was solving for it like this way, now if we were to read this, this really says x is what?
Greater, no, less than.
Less than.
Less than, okay, because we're touching the smaller side of the mouth first. Whereas this one says x is greater than. And so you really have to read and understand these before that you can do the cheater way. So the cheater way works if the letter is on the left side, okay, then you really don't even have to read, you can just draw the arrow, okay?